My stepson thanked me as his dad during his school speech, and my wife dragged me out of the auditorium mid-applause. I filed for divorce before she landed at the airport. My wife married me when her son was 4. His biological father moved to another state 6 months after that, remarried within a year, and has missed every birthday since. I know because I'm the one who sat with Remy when the calls didn't come and made up reasons why, the way you do when a kid is too young to understand that some people just leave. Remy is 12 now. We've been together 8 years, married for 5, and in all that time, his father has called maybe 15 times. He forgot Remy's birthday 3 years running. He missed the school play, the first soccer season, and the night Remy broke his arm falling off his bike and asked for his dad in the emergency room. That night, I was the one beside him at 2 a.m. telling him he was brave while they set the bone. My wife works in pharmaceutical sales and travels 4 days out of 7. She's good at her job, and I respect that. But what it means at home is that I'm the one here. I pack lunches, sign permission slips, and drive to practice. When Remy was drowning in fractions, I made flashcards and drilled them with him at the kitchen table every night for 3 weeks until something clicked and he looked up and grinned like he'd cracked a code. We have a running chess game on the coffee table that neither of us has finished in 2 months. When he gets scared at night, he knocks on our door. My wife doesn't wake up. I do. Last spring, Remy entered the regional science competition with a project on water filtration. He worked on it for 6 weeks. We tested it in the backyard with buckets and tubing and a lot of muddy water. I drove him to the hardware store twice. The week before the presentation, he rehearsed in the living room every night while I sat on the couch timing him on my phone. He won. The award ceremony was in the school auditorium on a Tuesday. My wife rearranged her schedule and flew back early to be there, which I was glad about. Remy spotted us in the crowd and waved. When they called his name and he walked up to accept the trophy, he leaned into the microphone and said, "I want to thank my mom for coming and my dad for teaching me how to actually do this." He pointed straight at me. The auditorium clapped. People near us turned and smiled. I felt something I didn't have a word for. My wife's hand closed around my wrist and pulled, not gently. She walked us into the hallway before the applause finished and turned on me with a look I'd never seen from her. "His father is going to see that video," she said. I told her Remy said what he felt. She said I'd been feeding him lines. I hadn't. She said I was trying to replace someone. I wasn't. Then she said, "Nate is his father. Whatever you think you are to that boy, you are not his father, and you never will be." I said, "Nate hasn't called him in 8 months." She said, "That's not your business." We drove home without speaking. Remy rode with a friend, still holding his trophy. That night, my wife said she was calling Nate to let him know what happened, because he deserved to know. I asked if she'd also mentioned that his son asked for him in the emergency room 2 years ago. She walked out of the room. The next 3 days were cold. She stopped eating dinner with us. Remy kept looking between us at the table, asking questions with his eyes I didn't know how to answer. On the 4th night, he came downstairs while I was washing dishes. He set his trophy on the counter next to the sink and said, "Did I mess something up?" I turned off the water and told him no. I told him that the people who love him are not going to stop. He said, "Mom told me I shouldn't have said that." I told him he could always say what he meant. He nodded and went back upstairs. I stood at the sink for a long time. The next morning, my wife told me Nate was upset, that he felt disrespected, that I owed him a call to smooth things over. I asked what I was supposed to say. She looked me in the eye and said, "That you know your place." I knew my place. 8 years of it. I waited until she left for the airport. Then I called my attorney, packed a bag, and left one envelope on the kitchen counter. She texted me from the gate, "We need to talk when I'm back." I replied, "Check the counter."